What's going on, my fellow Kino Lords? So I just got out of a screening for Anatomy of a Fall, which is written and directed by Justine Triet. Probably not how you pronounce it, so I apologize. So Anatomy of a Fall is a film that I'm gonna be honest, I never heard of until maybe a month and a half or so ago. Didn't even know this film existed. Didn't know what it was about at all. But thanks to my lovely Discord server, everybody informed me about like all the buzz that was revolving around this film, and about the fact that it won the Palme d'Or at this year's Cannes Film Festival. And obviously, all that's going to pique my interest and really motivate me to go out and see it and share my thoughts with you guys. So, with that being said, I'm going to cut right to it and say that I thought this film was quite brilliant in a lot of ways. Yeah, I found this to be an emotionally powerful and even like intellectually compelling and also just incredibly authentic piece of filmmaking. Um, and I use the word authentic a lot when it comes to a lot of films that I love. I think one of the last, honestly, probably one of the last masterfully authentic films that I've seen was 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days. That is like one of the most authentic and powerful piece of filmmaking that I've seen in quite some time. And I feel like authenticity is incredibly important when it comes to a film like this. And I mean, just to simplify what this film is about, it's basically a thriller mystery film involving the death of a family member that evolves into a courtroom drama. And nothing about this film felt over the top or over dramatized. Nothing about this film felt simplistic. Everything about this film felt like it came from the mind of somebody that truly understands the emotional and intellectual weight of its subject. And I just feel like it explores everything like incredibly well. Like not only the kind of procedural courtroom drama type of stuff, but just when it comes to like the emotions of the characters and like the insightfulness of all the characters. Um, this is a film that is like it's just buried in so many different layers. Like this film basically presents the actual dramatic situation right out of the gate. Um, and it really does feel like just the tip of the iceberg. And I love that immediately only allows the audience to witness the experience and like the actual conflict of the entire situation in a very surface level kind of way. It's really up to the film to evolve and unravel everything else as it progresses. And we as the audience, like just as the film progresses, just starts understanding just the depth and the layers that are beneath this iceberg. It really is like that iceberg meme that you see where like everything beneath it, like you got this opening scene situation that is like the top of the iceberg, and then just as the film progresses there's just so much more emotional layers to this, a lot more informational layers to this, that just make it so complicated and so nuanced, and makes it to where you really are also like in a state of limbo for most of the film. I feel like this isn't a very predictable film. It's a film that definitely leaves you on edge, like in terms of suspense, but also like again, intellectually speaking, you don't really know where this thing is going to end up. You don't really know where it's going to land. And I really enjoyed where this film ends up. And that's an incredibly important thing when it comes to a courtroom drama that is 2 hours and a half long. 2 hours and a half is a pretty damn long runtime, and I feel like I couldn't really pick a moment in this film that could have been trimmed or just like a scene that could have been taken out. Pretty much everything in this film feels purposeful and meaningful, regarding certain contexts. Like it all feels like it's there for a reason and feels like it's there, to contribute something about the character's backstory, the character's current state of emotion, something contextual about the story and the mystery itself. And yeah, so again, I gotta give it so much praise for using all of its runtime appropriately and just feeling like such an authentic piece of filmmaking. Everything about this film feels incredibly real. Um, this to me is like an exercise of realism, because a lot of like there's a lot of uses of almost like a documentary type style of filmmaking. Like there's some shots in the film where characters are explaining their side of the situation, and you get this really close like zoom in shots of their mouth or their face. There's a few moments where like the camera kind of zooms in and zooms out, or just kind of like quick movements. um, so to me it's presented in this very realistic aesthetic presentation that enhances and elevates the authenticity of this film. And even like there's certain scenes where I feel like the perspective of the child, which by the way, the child performance in this film is off the walls great. Really, really impressed with his performance. Also the performance from the dog in this film is actually like really, really good. Honestly, probably the best like performance from a dog, or really any animal in general, that I've ever seen in a film. Um, is really like kind of stuns you. But yeah, so there are scenes in this film that I feel like very well portray the the child's perspective. And I don't just mean like POV shots of the child, or like from the child or anything, but like for instance, there's this scene where the child is testifying in court, and the camera's on him like this, and then whenever he switches, his attention to someone talking, the camera kind of keeps at his eye level and just kind of swoops around in this type of dramatic way that I feel like really kind of amplifies it kind of amplifies the overwhelming feeling of what that child is feeling in this current moment. Just the amount of stress and the amount of information that he's receiving, the amount of pressure that he's feeling from all these adults in this incredibly serious situation. Um, just like little things like that I found really impressive and really effective in this film. Um, but yeah, just a really, really great film overall, honestly. There's really like, I feel like talking about it right after I saw it is probably not doing it the most justice. Um, because there really is like a lot to think about. There's a lot to reflect on. Because it is an incredibly dense film. And I guess on a side note, really the acting all across the board is really fucking good. All across the board is really good. There's this one long fight scene that we get between a husband and a wife that not only is written to me like written to perfection, but I mean the acting across the board, like acting is so good. Um, Really believable. You really feel like the emotions that they're conveying is coming from within. It feels so real. The conflict of their relationship feels believable and complex. And it's just a really excellent moment in the film, because of just how great the writing is and because of the acting. Um, so yeah, trying to really look for more to say here, but I don't want to talk too much in detail about specific moments in the film. But it's hard not to. It really is hard not to, because there are plenty of moments in this film that are just really, really compelling. And again, feel really mature. Like again, this comes from a filmmaker that I feel like really understood its subject with a high level of maturity, and it really helped me like get invested into this film. So so yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I'll really say for now. I don't really have much criticisms with this film. I guess really the only thing I can say is that it's not the most like, it's not really all that inventive, when it comes to this, genre of filmmaking. It's not doing anything necessarily like innovative or new. With the whole with the whole courtroom drama type thing, but it does it does the genre like so like better than almost any type of courtroom drama I've ever seen. Like it does what it's supposed to do incredibly effectively, and it's emotionally resonant as well. And yeah, just overall, um really, really impressed with this film. Again, I wouldn't go as far as say it's a masterpiece. Um but it's still like I don't have much criticism, and I just think it does what it needed to do incredibly well. I also don't really see myself like coming back to this film all that often. Like that's not necessarily the most rewatchable film unless you want to show it to somebody who hasn't seen it yet. Um, but it's still like I don't feel like that takes away from the film because for what it is, like objectively, it's really really great. So I was thinking about what I would rate this film like for a while after seeing it, like after like reflecting on this film, um, felt still like in a state of limbo of what I would give it. But honestly, just now as I'm like unleashing all my thoughts about it, um, I think I feel confident in giving this film a soft 9 out of 10. I think it deserves it. I was thinking like a strong 8, but I feel like that's a little bit unfair to the film because it does what it's supposed to do like perfectly, basically. So yeah, that's all I'll say about the film, guys. I'm gonna go Criterion shopping this week, most likely Thursday. I can't guarantee it'll come out Thursday, but the video will be out probably by the weekend or something. I'm gonna do at least 2 hauls this month. Might be a third one, not sure. But that's all I gotta say, guys. If you really enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film related content.